But all right, I ain't gonna wait too long on this because I got a few things I'm gonna react to. Hopefully, everybody ready to rock. Shocking discovery unravels a careful cover up. The murder of Diana Duvey.
June 21st,
We on
2014,
full screen.
26-year-old Diana Duvey went missing. Diana's last message to her mother early that morning stated only that she would not be returning home. Then, there was silence. Investigators tracked clues left behind from her last night out, friends and witnesses who helped piece together a timeline and point them towards a suspect. Days later, Diana's car was discovered abandoned in a store parking lot an hour from her home.
Yo, it's so crazy that so many places in the world. Like I know a place that's almost exactly like, except for Radio Shack. How? What year did he say this was? What the fuck? Radio Shack. Radio Shack don't exist no more, right? I feel like I've never seen a Radio Shack and a Dollar Tree around at the same time. Is Radio Shack still a thing? Anyway, whatever. I'll be
And
on
yet,
TV.
more devastating discoveries were still to be made. Hi there, I'm Kevin, and welcome
Kevin,
to
I
Just
ain't
Thought
watched one of his
Lounge.
videos in a minute.
Today's case
It
unravels
is
rapidly.
Radio Shack still around? That's I haven't seen one of them joints in a minute. You know, there used to be one in Queens by where that Pathmark. Well, shit, that Pathmark. Damn. So now everybody gonna know how old I am. All right, I'm not talking no more. All right, Radio
A
Shack's around.
mysterious
I
missing
just need to see what.
persons turned into a manhunt, which led to an arrest. And it all came together inside of 1 week. This is the story of how even
Yo,
careful killers get
facts.
caught.
They always sold you the wrong. Radio Shack always. Yo, that is a fact, bro. Radio Shack. Oh, yup. They didn't have it, or they sold you the. They was horrible. I wish they would have. They are horrible, bro. One of the worst. One of the worst, bro. Them niggas was yo. They sold me so many everything. I think I actually, I'm not want to tell my age, but they always sell you the wrong shit. That is a fact.
Let's take a look. Before we jump into our case, I want to tell you about today's sponsor,
No,
June's Journey,
we don't
a
really
clever
want. I don't really want to hear about that.
as
He got game
to perfect.
sponsors. Oh, that's crazy. That's cool.
She was there to
All right, let's get into this.
available on Apple and Android smartphones and tablets, as well as PC. Lena Andrews arrived at the Vero
Man,
Beach
what
police
up, though?
station at just after 8 a.m. on June
We back
21st,
on murder mystery. All
2014.
right, let me lock in. Let me lock in. Let me lock in.
Lena Andrews arrived at the Vero Beach police station at just after 8 a.m. on June 21st, 2014.
Okay,
She was
2014.
there to report her
Vero
daughter,
Beach.
26-year-old Diana Duvey, missing. The last communication she had with Diana was a text message sent just past 1:30 a.m. the previous day, stating that she would not be returning home that night. That message was sent in her native Russian, the language Diana used to communicate with her mother. Every message Lena sent following that, asking where she was and when she would be home, went unanswered.
Okay.
Eventually, Lena made contact with Diana's boyfriend, 31-year-old Mike Jones.
Okay.
Mike
Okay.
told Lena
Hold on, I'm just trying to get it given on. She 26, he 31. Okay. 26, 17, 35. Okay, 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 okay.
that Diana was sleeping at his house. He would
Okay.
have her call later. But no call was ever made. Even more troubling, following this exchange with Lena, Mike Jones also dropped out of contact.
I'm sorry.
Beginning that Saturday, June 22nd, no one could reach the young couple. And neither Diana, a dedicated nurse, or Mike, a successful wealth planner, had shown up for work on Friday.
Oh, they both missing. Oh, here we go.
31-year-old Mike Jones had earned a master's in law degree from the University of Miami. After launching his career at the investment bank Merrill Lynch, based in Fort Lauderdale, he had accepted a role at PNC Wealth Management in Vero Beach. Mike oversaw millions of client funds, and by most accounts, he was respected and well-liked by colleagues and clients alike.
Okay, big dog.
A regular on the local bar scene, it was at one of these establishments that Mike had met Diana roughly 6 months earlier. By the spring of 2014, they were living together in Mike's residence at 1620 42 Square. According to friends, Diana was never as smitten with Mike as he was with her. The 26-year-old has always been popular and made friends easily. It had taken some effort from Mike to win her over.
Y'all trying to say Mike a loser. That's what y'all trying to say.
Born in Moldova, Diana had moved to Florida with her mother at the age of 13 when Lena married stepfather Bill Andrews. Arriving as a young teen without a word of English, she had learned rapidly and fit in just as quickly. Diana graduated college with a nursing degree with a specialization in oncology. She worked with cancer patients at a local medical clinic, a role in which she was deeply committed. That Friday, however, she did not show up for work, and no one at the clinic had heard from her. A search warrant was drawn up for Mike Jones's house in Vero Beach. It was the last known location for both Mike and Diana. When they entered, they found no one at home. It also seems that not much appeared out of place. Neither Diana's black Nissan nor Mike's gold Mazda was at the residence, though a neighbor told police they recalled seeing Diana's vehicle parked out front on Friday night. In the garage on the floor near the base of the door, investigators identified droplets of a blood-like substance. The need to locate the couple intensified. Notifications to law enforcement agencies across the state were made in an effort to find Mike and Diana's vehicles and hopefully lead to their location. Meanwhile,
not actual vehicle. Imagine they put out that, like, I would hate to be driving a black Ultima or whatever that was at that time, because they're going to be harassing you.
Detectives began to retrace their movements prior to those early morning texts on the 21st.
It would be Florida.
On the evening of Wednesday, June 18th, 2 days before the disappearance, Diana and Mike went to the Scampi Grill for dinner. Michael Major had been their server. Michael recognized the couple as soon as they came in.
Yo, these names
he and a
crazy.
coworker
Mike
had been out
Jones
for
and Michael
drinks just a
Major?
few days before
Mike
at a bar
Majors.
called The Grove, where they had encountered Mike and Diana.
I went up to the table to introduce myself. They seemed a little on edge.
Did you know him at the time?
We had seen him. Actually, one of the employees here, Kevin, and I had encountered him Friday
When you
night.
say him, who are you talking about?
Michael.
Okay. You're talking about Michael Jones?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We were at the Grove having a couple beverages after work, and Kevin made contact with the girlfriend at the time, and just casual conversation, and he came up with attitude and stuff, and we were already a few drinks into the night, and we're like, it's garbage, so we're on a long day, let's just leave it at that and go home. So we did. We left it at that and went home. So when they came in Wednesday night, Kevin was working with me, and he goes, "That guy look familiar to you?" I'm like, "Yeah, he does." He goes, "That's the guy from the Grove that tried to get into it with me."
Oh, so
Michael
he
told
had
the
beef.
detective that a
He
short
lying.
exchange Kevin had
He said he lying already? Nah, he
with
might be
Diana
lying. He
at
might
the
be lying. I
Grove
ain't gonna-
caused a jealous
I ain't gonna lie. He
reaction
could be
from
lying.
Mike, who unnecessarily confronted them in a threatening manner.
Okay, so boom, they say, boy right here, the pink polo, he kind of lame. He bag a chick that's popping, that's younger than him. He go to the bar. He get into it with other dudes because they try to holler at her. That happens, rightfully so. Like, right, what you think? He not trying to let it go. Mike Jones did it. I'm with you. I feel
The
like Mike
servers
Jones got something to do
de-escalated
with
the
it.
exchange and left, only to see the couple show up at the Scampi Grill days later.
Yo,
They're-
I'm not gonna lie, and I'm allergic to shellfish and shit. And I don't eat shrimp, and I know shrimp is usually skimpy, but Skimpy Grill sound like a poppin' name. Like, I want to go there. Like, it sounds like it got some decent food. I want to go to the Skimpy Grill. I wonder if it still exists. They was hating on son. Yeah, they try to take his girl in front of him. That ain't cool, bro. What they expect?
demeanor was tense. Michael noted how they seemed to maintain a heated exchange throughout their dinner, though keeping their voices low enough to conceal their words.
You could visibly see that something was going on with her. The demeanor didn't change at all. And I looked through service window at the table every so often just to check on them, and you could see that there was agitation between the two of them. I was talking to Kevin about it too. I'm like, dude, that is not a happy table. I'm like, there's a lot of agitation going on, and he noticed it too.
Would you say that he's aggressive with her?
Oh, the way he was talking to her? Absolutely. His body motion was absolutely aggressive.
People who can lower their tones and
Mike and Diana left Scampy Grill.
Fact, bro. The people who be calm and shit like that and they lower their tone, those are in fact serial killers. That
at around 8:30 that evening. An hour later, Mike was back at the Grove. He was alone. A friend who saw him there later told detectives that Mike was visibly upset and had been crying.
I saw Mike Jones on Wednesday, and he was sitting by himself. He was texting on his phone, and then he left shortly thereafter. But I just thought it was really bizarre behavior for him to be so upset in public. I got the impression that he's been given like some really bad news.
By all accounts, Diana and Mike had ended their relationship over dinner at Scampy's Grill on Wednesday night. Mike complained to coworkers the following day that Diana had left without removing all of her clothing from his apartment. He also told them that he had plans to visit friends in Orlando, which served as an explanation for his absence. But he did not.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That comment threw me. Back then, it was Diana, Mike Jones. That is a fact. Oh, man, Lee, you threw me off. Hold on, I gotta go back now.
All of her clothing from his apartment. He also told them that he had plans to visit friends in Orlando, which served as an explanation for his absence. But he did not leave right away. Despite their apparent breakup, he and Diana were spotted out together once more the very next night. A bartender at What a Tavern reported that after having a drink, Mike paid their tab by credit card and the two left, together, at just after 1 a.m. It was the last sighting of Diana before she lost contact with everyone, and she was getting into her car with her now ex-boyfriend. This was not the first time that the two had parted ways. Diana's best friend and sometimes roommate, Chelsea, told detectives that their first split had taken place back in April. During a heated argument at their home, Mike's yelling and threats caused a neighbor in the building.
Wait. He's Florida man. Yo, Mo, what up? What you think of Chelsea, Mo? I know this is your vibes. 1 to 10, the one on the left. That's your vibes.
Told detectives that their first split had taken place back in April. During a heated argument at their home, Mike's yelling and threats caused a neighbor in the building to place a call to 911, concerned for Diana's safety.
She called me hysterically crying. She asked me where I was, and I said I was working. I'm still, at the bar closing up. She's like, okay, well, I'm coming up there. And she came up hysterical, talking about how they were in a fight, and at one point during the fight, he ended up choking her.
Chelsea said she could clearly see the signs of the attack on her friend's neck. They had documented the incident with photos.
You're crazy.
The next day, accompanied by Chelsea's
I
father.
don't know how I feel like Chelsea. Yo, if it turns out that Chelsea did it, bro, nah, you the man, Lee. If it turns out that Chelsea did it, I'm bringing you on for the next react.
The next day, accompanied by Chelsea's father, they went to Mike's apartment and collected her things. She moved out, and that was meant to be the end of it.
Okay.
They went through a period of time of not really talking or speaking, and then I guess over time they ended up back together, and everything seemed fine. That night caught everybody off guard. No one saw that one happen.
Though Mike's temper on that night back in April had come as a surprise to many of Diana's friends, it seems it was not out of character. Mike was described as a controlling and jealous partner, and a man with a bad temper. Diana's...
What? I ain't never said that. That girl, she was like, probably Puerto Rican or something. You don't like Puerto Rican girls?
Friend Kyle told detectives that he tried to warn her off of Mike, sensing that he was not a good person. On one occasion, they ran into each other at a bar and greeted each other with a hug. Spotting the exchange, Mike wasted no time confronting Kyle in what he described as a jealous rage.
I don't think she
It was
white,
behavior
bro.
reminiscent of what Michael and
Oh,
Kevin had experienced only days before the disappearance.
And he pursued again with aggression, more aggression, to try to fight you. Fight me. What exactly say you, Kyle?
Kyle is her friend. Y'all are stupid. I mean, nah. Whoa. We're gonna get into that another time because there's some. You know how I feel about like Margot Robbie. She fine, but Kyle is a friend. So Mike tried to stall off on Kyle at some point too. So, but you know how it be with the friend. Sometimes the friend don't beat a friend. So him saying that he wanted to beat him up, I don't really fault Mike Jones for that because it's like, boy, I don't know, but what you into, Kyle?
And to try to fight you. Fight me. What exactly say you, Kyle? Didn't really say nothing. Just stared at me and started walking towards me like with anger.
All right, that sound like Cap, right? That sound like Cap. Don't that sound like he bullshit? He said he tried to fight me. He said, exactly, what did he do to try to fight you? He said he didn't do anything. He just stared at me and walked towards me with anger. What the fuck you mean, bro? You just scary, bro.
Did he have his fingers? Stared at
scary,
me
bro.
and started walking towards me like with anger. Did he have his fingers? Yes, fists were clenched. He was ready to fight.
Clenched. Who's he, Arthur?
Out of rage and jealousy, not much.
Exactly.
I believe, it
Why
was a while back, but I believe he said, "Get that fuck off her," and it was a simple hug as a friend.
Wow, he said, "Get the fuck off her."
Would you say he's got some jealousy issues?
Hey,
yes.
Get the fuck off her, bro. Fuck you.
Further digging into Mike Jones's past revealed a criminal history, a conviction in Fort Lauderdale for aggravated stalking of an ex-girlfriend, a felony.
Yo, the facts. Why they doing Mike like that, bro?
On Sunday, June 22nd, only days after Diana's last confirmed communication, Mike Jones's gold Mazda was spotted in the parking lot of a Hampton Inn on Reynolds Drive in Fort Pierce. Despite his apparent plans to visit friends in Orlando, surveillance footage captured him checking into a room only 25 minutes away from his home in Vero Beach. He paid cash and gave explicit instructions to hotel staff. Do not put through any phone calls and do not tell anyone that he was there.
I ain't gonna lie.
Detectives were nonetheless handed a key card to it.
If you book a hotel 25 minutes away from your house, you're up to no good. There's something weird going on. I don't really see many reasons or circumstances that you will book a hotel 25 minutes from your crib, especially when you live alone. It's not like you even trying to get away from nobody. Like, what would be the reason for you to book a hotel 25 minutes away from your crib? Nah, he's sus.
His room, and they paid him a visit.
Unless somebody after him.
You have a pretty good reason why we're here, I'm sure. Basically, the reason why we're here. We're still trying to find Diana.
Okay.
Okay. That's the biggest reason why we've been doing the last couple days. That's what we're going to continue to do. Okay. I'd like to talk to you about her whereabouts. Okay. But I have to read you Miranda warning first, okay? You understand that so far? I know you got your law degree, so you're really intelligent.
Remember again while we're here.
Take a
That's fine.
to the crib.
Find her.
I'll tell you unequivocally, I don't know where she is.
That's true. But like I said, you doing something weird. You up to no good. Why you with the fleazy trying to take it to the hotel, bro? Like, if you can't take it to the crib, bro, you know you shouldn't be slam dancing it. You know it.
Find her.
I'll tell you unequivocally, I don't know where she is.
But that is a fact, though. That is one of the reasons people would do something like that.
Just if that helps.
Following this brief statement, Mike asserted his right to counsel, and the conversation
That nigga's
ended.
name is making him seem guilty.
Less than 12 hours after Mike's Mazda was spotted in Fort Pierce, Diana's black Nissan was located in a Publix parking lot in Melbourne, a nearly hour drive from her home in Vero Beach. Officers opened the trunk of the car to find Diana Duvey, dressed in only her underwear.
Oh, nah. She was found in her own trunk at Publix, dressed in only her under. Oh, shit. You an accessory. Nah, that was before. This happened way back. There ain't no Radio Shack around no more. There ain't no Radio Shack there.
She had likely been deceased for days.
Damn.
An autopsy would later determine that Diana had suffered blunt force trauma to her head She had also been strangled.
Oh, now
It was
somebody
a
blacked
devastating
out. Somebody
outcome to the
blacked
missing
out on her.
person search that
That do
family
sound
and
like Mike
friends
Jones with
had desperately hoped would result in locating Diana
Damn, it's not looking
alive.
good for Mike Jones.
Anybody that got a chance to meet Diana knows that she just brought a smile to their face and was a bright spot in their life. You get to know who people are, and she's one of those people that
Who's you?
you won't find anybody that has anything bad to say about her. You could see from the outreach from the
My homegirl
community
did it.
that just
Yo,
speaks
bro,
volumes of who she
at
was.
this point,
It's a devastating loss.
I feel like everybody's pointing
Detectives
towards Mike,
spoke with a
trying to
Publix
throw us off.
employee who had arrived for her shift just before 5
Wouldn't do
a.m.
that.
on
Nah, just
Saturday
because
morning.
you said Mike wouldn't
The
do that,
employee
he did.
recalled watching as the black Nissan drove in and parked.
Okay, who parked
She did
the car?
not, however, get a clear view of the driver.
So I said, well, I seen when the cars pulled up, I was sitting in my car.
Okay.
And the bakery manager, she said, what, you seen the cars pull up? Which day? And I was like, so
They
it's
need
that
to
either
check
Saturday
the
or Friday. It
drawers
was like 4.
And make sure he didn't touch her. Nah, he definitely touched her. He definitely touched. She in her drawers. He touched her, bruh. He touched her. If blunt force trauma strangulation, he either touched her before they fought or after he did it. But he touched her, bro. She in her drawers. He did that shit. He touched her. He touched her.
45 in the morning because I get here like 4:45 and I sit in my car.
Did you see who was driving the black vehicle?
No.
The employee thought that perhaps a second vehicle, which entered the lot only moments later, could have been traveling with the black Nissan. If so, it would suggest the killer had an accomplice, though the witness did not see an interaction between the drivers. So, investigators began to contact local taxi services. They reasoned that the driver who abandoned Diana's car needed to leave the parking lot somehow.
Facts.
This logical deduction proved accurate. A Black Diamond taxi reported collecting a fare a quarter mile from the Publix from the local Wendy's restaurant at roughly 8.
Cry with the re-70 prom. Good looking, my boy. Appreciate you. Shout out to my boy Cry Jones. And we rocking this week too.
8:30 a.m. on
Make
Saturday
sure y'all
morning.
get y'all prom subs
The
in, bro.
destination
Appreciate it.
was Vero Beach. The driver told detectives that he collected a thin-built white man in a red hoodie from the bus stop. He remembered it clearly because it was the only fare he had that day, and it was unusual to collect someone from the side of the road for a long journey. They made small talk on the way.
How did you get down here? And he said, well, he came down with a friend of his.
Mm-hmm.
And he said her car broke down.
Okay.
And he had no way to get back. So she couldn't get her car fixed. And he said, oh, I don't know, she was pretty pissed anyway, so I doubt she would have gave me a ride back.
The taxi driver dropped off the man in the hoodie at an address in Vero Beach, directly across the street from the apartment at 1620 42 Square. When asked to identify the man in a police lineup, the driver identified Michael Jones.
Yeah, there you go. There you go, Mike Jones.
On Wednesday, June 25th, 1 week from the day Diana broke up with him, Michael Jones was formally charged with first-degree murder. He was held in custody without bond.
This is a tragic case of dating.
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me correct what I even said. Cry, my boy. Appreciate the gifted sub to the community, my guy. Good looking, my boy. I appreciate you. For real, 10 billion%. Appreciate that.
And domestic violence by a weak,
Y'all better give a
insecure,
W cry in the
cowardly
chat if y'all
individual
here, man. W
who
cry,
felt the
man.
need to control his relationship with Diana Duvey by way of verbal and physical abuse. Quite frankly,
it went to leak.
Michael
You better
David
give a
Jones
W
disgusts
cry in
me
the chat, man. W
and is
cry.
very poor
Everybody
excuse
W
for a
cry in
man.
the chat, bro.
Upon his arrest, officers located a second burner phone amongst his things, the same phone that had been used to call the taxicab company for a ride from the Melbourne Wendy's. Had he used this phone exclusively, instead of occasionally powering on his regular device, detectives may have been unable to track him. As it was, they could trace the purchase of the burner phone to a Walmart in Palm Bay. At approximately 6:52 a.m. on Saturday the 21st, a black four-door Nissan was captured arriving at the store. Cameras in the parking lot and inside showed only Mike Jones emerging from the vehicle and entering the store. He purchased the flip phone and was captured leaving. Though he drove Diana's car, she was
Prime
not.
set it off. I know if y'all got Prime, if y'all got subs, if y'all want to give subs, if y'all got bits. I know some of y'all out there got bits. Share the bits, the bits, everything. You already know. Appreciate y'all.
Seen with him. Of course, if the timeline established by detectives was correct, Diana was already in the trunk when Mike drove her car to the Walmart that morning. Michael Jones pleaded not guilty to the murder and awaited his trial from county jail. He refused to speak with detectives.
I want to point out to you, the first time we talked to you, we were there to talk to you about a missing person, okay? Now we're here to talk to you about the murder, okay? That being said, I'm going to go ahead and read your Miranda rights. You understand?
Yes.
Okay.
Using my right to silence and unequivocally requesting my right to counsel. So you don't want to talk to us?
Goofy, thought you would
request my right to counsel. Okay. That's all you had to say to us.
During this period, investigators were learning more about the wealth planner's sordid past. Ex-girlfriends reported controlling behavior and a pattern of emotional and physical abuse. It also emerged that Mike had a history of telling grandiose, overt lies. Though he drove a 10-year-old Mazda, he claimed this was only to keep his other car, a Porsche, from becoming damaged. He also spoke about the penthouse he claimed to own in Fort Lauderdale. While in law school, he told professors and some fellow students that he was battling cancer, which made it difficult for him to regularly attend classes and meet project deadlines. And apparently, he was also a self-made man. He claimed to have been adopted and raised in poverty. These lies helped him get admitted to academic programs and boost his reputation with colleagues. But his tales were a stark contrast to the wealthy upbringing and private school education that his biological parents had actually provided him. After his arrest, his many connections abandoned him. His lies had been revealed. While awaiting trial, Mike was supported by a single coworker who visited him only a few times.
Nah, real shit, in a mugshot, like, don't people usually look wild? Like, when you see a mugshot, most of the time it be like, they did that shit. You just be looking like crazy in mugshots, bro. That shit just make you look guilty to me. I've never seen a mugshot, or maybe one or two. But generally, when I see mugshots, I be like, yeah, they did shit. They did something. They did something. They guilty of something.
Can I ask you an honest question?
Sure.
Other than you and her,
Uh-huh.
do you think I really have any friends left?
Don't consider that they're not your friends. They're just not in a good place, you know? And I hope they still are your friends, you know? Okay? Have you seen your family at all, Michael?
No, you're the only person that has visited me, and literally I got one letter from Guy and one letter from you, and that's it.
Do you want me to contact your family?
No, my attorney talked to him.
The police detective has said to me that they've tried to talk with you and that you won't talk with them. And I guess I don't care for it's not what I want to know why you won't talk to them. I want the best for you, Michael. And I'm just wondering why you...
Y'all think he was fucking with this coworker too? Because why is she so invested? Maybe I'm just not a great coworker, but I feel like my coworkers wouldn't come visit me if I was in jail for some shit like that. I feel like they'd be like, man, visit that nigga? Like, for what? What he did? What he accused of? I don't think I got no coworkers that fuck with me like that.
You think it's beneficial to you not to talk to them?
Yeah, that's something I can't talk about.
You know, Michael, they don't tell us details and stuff, but, and this is upset for you, I'm sure, but they tell us that they have lots of evidence. That if you don't weigh in at all, that your voice is not going to be heard, Michael, and the next thing you know, will be in the middle of some big sensational trial.
Nah, for real. Anybody in the chat, bro, if y'all think y'all got coworkers, I'm not talking about people who was your friends before and all that, just like coworkers that will pull up and be like your only visitor in prison if you got arrested for a murder.
I just don't want to see you. I just don't want to see you publicized or damaged further than you need to be.
Sounds like she's trying to get him to come.
Yeah, I don't know that I have much choice in that matter, though.
She could be the back
in the
door
next
right there. She could be back door.
few days.
Not one, exactly. Not one. My coworkers don't give a fuck.
I think they're going to decide whether they go with the death penalty or not.
Death penalty.
I don't know what the facts are, but you can't change the facts, Michael.
Yeah, she might be trying to get it out.
And if the facts aren't good, you need to find a place to. You don't want to die, do you?
Yeah, nah, she trying to get.
No, that's a pretty scary thing.
She trying to set him up. Don't do it, Mike. Stick to your guns, bro.
Michael Jones stood trial for Diana Duvey's murder in October 2019. The state declared their intention to seek the death penalty should the jury return a guilty verdict. The defense argued that the evidence for murder was circumstantial. They suggested that Diana could have sustained her fatal injuries accidentally. If that was the case, Mike was only guilty of panicking by placing her in the trunk of her car, abandoning it in a parking lot, and hiding at a Hampton Inn. A medical expert.
Bro, she was in her underwear though. So what was they was probably getting it on. He gonna say they was getting it on and she accidentally hit her head and strangled herself when they was getting freaky. And he panicked and drove her body. You doing a lot, bro. You still going to jail if that's
For
the
the
case.
defense testified that the blunt force injury to her head alone could have killed her. Or Diana could have still been alive when she was placed in the trunk. Under intense cross-examination, however, even this expert conceded that her death was best categorized as a homicide. Michael Jones elected not to testify at his trial. Whatever his version of events, it would not be heard. It took the jury only 45 minutes.
All right, I know you be slammed in. I know we all see like court shows, murder shows, TVs. We all know how it go. How do y'all feel in real life situations? How do y'all feel when the person chooses not to like testify, like not to tell their side of the story? Do you think that works? Do you think it makes them look guilty, not guilty? Like, how do you think that is? Because I feel like if you going through all this and he don't want to take the stand, bro, I don't know, bro. That's I don't know. I get it. You don't want to slip up and say something stupid in front of the jury and make you look all confusing, but I don't know. Well, they always tell them not to. A lot of times they do advise them not to, but it's like, bro, if you ain't do it, bro. But I understand some people mad dumb and they gonna get up there and just make themselves look all convoluted and yeah, I don't know.
To convict him of first-degree murder. The same jurors would return the next month for the sentencing phase of the trial, when they would decide if he should be put to death.
Wait, well, hold on.
Not
Damn,
to testify
I be yapping
aside.
too much. All right, let me lock in.
Michael Jones elected not to testify at his trial. Whatever his version of events, it would not be heard. It took the jury only 45 minutes to convict him of first-degree murder.
Damn,
the same jurors would return the next month for the sentencing phase of the trial, when they would decide if he should be put to death.
You know, Michael David Jones can never be let back out into the public. You know, he's a murderer. He stole the life from my daughter. And, you know, I don't want him to even stay the rest of his life in jail. I want murder one sentence.
He make himself look worse. Yeah, at this point, he might
Lena Andrews spoke extensively during the penalty phase. Diana had been her only child. The two had been extremely close. She spoke of the plans that her daughter had made for her own life, and how thoughts of that lost future would haunt her forever. Despite these heartbreaking pleas, when the jury returned, there was one holdout. The vote was 11-1 in favor of imposing a sentence of death.
Ooh.
The jury unanimously
That boy
find
is
that the
almost
defendant,
fried.
Michael Jones, should be sentenced to death. No.
A recent change in
freaky
Florida
fuck.
law meant that for the sentence to be imposed, the decision needed to to be unanimous.
Yeah, well, that one person just saved your beans,
You
man.
came to my home. You sit at my table.
Oh, she going
and
home.
you took my daughter away from me. There is no punishment, no harsh enough for what you took from me. You know, if hate could kill, you would be dead now.
Lock her up too.
In November 2019, Michael David Jones was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
Keep it a buck. You think the death penalty was letting him off easy? Because life with no parole, boy, he about to have some unfun times probably. I mean, it's in jail. It's not the greatest place to be. But death is like, you kill him, he don't really suffer. I don't know about that. I'm sometimes I feel like sometimes people need to suffer, but then, you know, some people just gotta go. I don't know. How y'all feel about that?
It's all gone for me.
Yeah, that's worse. He might as well hang
I'm
up.
never going to have grandchildren. I'm never going to see my daughter getting old. Wise.
I mean, in situations like this, I'm for like, if he not gonna get the death penalty, and we're gonna make him feel it, they should let like the parents and the friends like come like give him some punches and rocks, throw some rocks at him. Like every month they should just come in and let them just do some wild shit, like tape him up and just let them throw rocks or give him mad haymakers and shit for like 30-40 minutes. But don't tell them when it's gonna happen. Just pull him out the cell and just beat the time. Wow, wow, wow. Rock, boom, boom, boom. Haymaker, throw him in. Like, just let that nigga suffer for a little bit.
Get mad.
What? This thing is a third world country. What if they don't hit hard? What kind of Old Testament shit is... I'm on the Old Testament shit, bro. Like, for real. If they don't hit hard, that's why I say rocks. That's why I say rocks. Because some people don't hit hard. And then you got to hit them with the rocks. That's for the people who don't hit hard. But for the people who feeling like they in a Mayweather, and then they could train. Imagine you like, yo, the dude that killed my daughter, I gotta go punch him up next week. I'm gonna be in the gym, like getting ready. So when I get, I'm gonna be piecing him up. That's the death penalty. Now we're gonna make sure we got. And I'm fighting back. Now you can't fight back. We're gonna have you tied up and taped to the wall, like this, with mad ties and tapes and cuffs. Why don't you come out that he really didn't do it? And it was the bro. Yo, that would be crazy.
Be happy.
This nigga Lee hate the best friend. God damn.
I know she's gone, but it's so hard to believe it now.
Imagine you training and pop out the toes of.
And that was the case of Diana
You just gotta eat that.
Thanks for watching,
If you let the
and many
handcuff
thanks
nigga
again
beat
to
your
June's Journey for sponsoring this video.
You
You
gotta
can
eat that,
download
boy.
June's Journey for free by clicking on the link.
Yo, shout out to Kevin, his videos, man. This was a short one. It was straightforward. There wasn't really nothing to it. We knew it was Mike from the beginning, and it was Mike. Cryu's right. Fucking Mike. We just fucking knew it from the beginning. It was fucking Mike Jones, bro. This wasn't even like a mystery. This was just straight up. It says a shocking discovery unravels a careful cover-up. There was nothing careful about this nigga's cover-up. It was him. He was angry. He was yelling at her everywhere. Nigga put her in the trunk of her own car and drove her to Publix and left in a fucking cab. It wasn't even a good thought-out plan. Who? Mike Jones.